All right, so I'm with Doug Stanton. We're talking how to keep revival going. It's not so much how revival ends, because we're in day 7 and it's getting good. I mean, it's for people that love God and really know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, you come expecting. I mean, there's just an anticipation, because I know God is going to do something pretty miraculous tonight. When you're in revival, you mentioned a lot of times it takes weeks to get to the point where we're at right now, but I'd like to talk about that. And then the other question is what you've seen with man getting in the way, ending a revival before it's time.
Yeah, for a start, a lot of people they have different opinions of what revival really is. So when I first got down to Florida in my early days here, we'd have revival written on every church, and it was like 3 days.
Yeah.
You can't have revival in 3 days.
Yeah.
So you're just describing a group of meetings. So revival is when people's heart is revived for their love for God, their love for Jesus Christ. You know, Jesus said to the church in Revelation, he said, you need to return to your first love and do the deeds that you did at first. Well, you know, to be honest, most people don't do deeds at first. You know, so what are the deeds? You know, there's a lot of things. So revival is like the greatest equipping of people, because they get past themselves, they get past their inadequacies and their fears, and all of a sudden they're just saturated with the reality of God. Because a revival is not built by methods, and it's not because we prayed hard and God did it. It's because God turns up if we're humble and we want Him more than anything else. And then He begins to show Himself strong on our behalf. And once people start getting miracles and blind eyes open and tumors falling off and just their hearts being changed. You know, the greatest miracle is when someone just falls. I mean, I'm looking at someone behind that camera that last night was on the ground and then broke so deeply because God was doing something in her person. And that still remains one of the most precious miracles that I see all the time, is people that have been hurt in their past and hurt in their family upbringing or marriages or whatever it is, and then God gets them and transforms them. And so it's the most precious thing. But what has ended a lot of my revivals is when the leaders see the success and they want to own it. And the moment you put your hand on something that only God can do, you kill it. It's like getting a little bird out of a nest and touch the eggs, and the bird comes in, the mama says, this doesn't smell like my place anymore. And so it dies. You've got decay. And so revival's a beautiful thing, but someone has said, Doug, write a book on revival. I go, no, you'll make a method out of it. And the only reason we've had those meetings, same as tonight, is we come every night, and I'm willing to do that. My wife's willing to do that. There's not a lot of ministers that will give up golf and everything to do meetings every night. And it takes a fire starter. Otherwise there'd be revivals everywhere. If it was easy, it would just happen. But it takes, you know, the revivalist has to want to give up his life. It's not an easy thing, I'll tell you, but it's the most rewarding life that anyone could hope to have if God would call you to do this. But you know, once that revival breaks, you feel like you're the closest thing to this side of heaven. You know, and I help people by myself, but when the crowd comes together, and it takes about 2 to 3 weeks sometimes to really get that breakthrough. It doesn't mean it's not good. We've only been going 7 days here and it's good.
Yeah.
But it's not revival.
Yeah.
Because when revival hits, it's like when you hit a supercharger on your car. It's like this other wind comes and poof, just blows that thing, and all of a sudden God looks down, He sees people from every denomination represented, and He gets so excited that He commands a blessing. He says, when my people dwell in unity, then the Lord commands a blessing. And I can only explain it that commanded blessing lets everyone know this is different. This isn't just church. This isn't just a good Holy Ghost meeting. God is here. God is in the house. And once God's in the house, you don't want to be anywhere else. So people come back. People, you know, you can have the best speakers in a conference, and people will pick the night and the speaker they want to go listen, and they only come one night. You know, the really hungry ones will come to all of them. But when revival comes, people don't want to stay at home because they feel like they're going to miss out on something.
So on the next episode, I want to talk about the things that you've seen when God shows up. When you're in that full-fledged, this is God. I'd like to talk about that.